the main roster, I think she's going to be golden. I think if they use her the right way, I think she is going to be the face of the WWE Women's Division. Not Sasha Banks, not Charlotte, not Becky Lynch, but Bayley.
Yep, and that I agree with you 100%. I think that Sasha Banks is not the number one girl in the division, the number one woman in the division.
I feel like she was last year, maybe like when they first came in, she was really over.
Yeah, once Bayley comes in, that changes. She is the future of that women's division.
And when she comes out and her music hits, it's just like you just want to have a feel good time. You want to party. You want to have fun.
You want to give a hug.
You want to give a hug. And then she kind of comes out with those long things. She reminds me of like the Macho Man when she comes out with those long streamers attached to her arms. So, I like Bayley.
You want a hug?
Let's hug after the show.
Let's hug out right now.
We just hugged each other, guys.
We just gave a hug, thanks to Bayley. But what are some ways that we can, promote these NXT stars more? Maybe they need to have like a preview show on USA Network or a highlight show showing these NXT stars. Definitely put together some promo packages during Raw to promote these guys.
You could even do something like, I know you're against like Sunday morning, Saturday morning TV shows kind of like a worldwide where you recap everything. So I'm talking about cramming Raw, SmackDown, and NXT all into an hour show, but only like showing like the key points that you want to see. And if you want, maybe throw in one match, an NXT match at the end. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with WCW Worldwide when it was on, but you would basically get the recap of Monday Night Nitro, and then when Thunder came out, you get Thunder, WCW Thunder, and then you'd have like one or two matches from like the power plant or something like that taking place from guys that were trying to make it in to WCW's main roster. And I think that would be, and also they would sometimes showcase like a guy from the main roster taking on one of these guys from like the power plant type of deal. So then you kind of start knowing who this guy is or this female is, whoever it is. And I think that would be the right way to go because, like you said, not many people have the network. This would be perfect for especially kids who you're trying to gear yourself towards with your whole product. So why not have like maybe a Saturday morning TV show, I don't know, whenever. I haven't watched Saturday morning cartoons. I don't even know if they're on anymore in a long time. So, but kind of figure that out and then just package everything together. And then, like I said, have one match, maybe two quick matches of guys from NXT or females from NXT and do it that way. And that way you can actually build on the NXT product. You can get people to learn about NXT who don't know a thing about NXT or don't have the network. And I think it would be a golden opportunity.
Would you be opposed to, since the Cruiserweight division is on Raw, to having some sort of sample, maybe if it's one match or two matches of SmackDown being an NXT showcase?
I don't know if I would do NXT because that'd be kind of confusing to people. I think I would have another title. Yes, maybe there was talks on the WWE network, not the network, online, which they were doing a poll the other day. Which title would you like to have brought back? And the number one, the one who had the highest rating was the hardcore division. Now, I don't know how you're going to do that with PG era. I mean, that's going to be kind of difficult. But you could always bring back a European championship and kind of showcase some more mid-card level superstars. You could maybe bring an NXT superstar to compete for the European championship. I don't know. I mean, it could be done if it's done the right way, but I think the right way to do it is get a hold of the kids and try and push this kind of like recap show with like one or two matches at the end showing people what they're missing on NXT.
Yeah, because I mean, there has to be a way to put them on the USA Network, even if it's for 15 minutes, or just maybe highlight or recap what happened on NXT.
Because USA, I mean, how many times are you going to watch Law & Order or repeats on USA? That's really a lot of what they have. I mean, they have original shows at night, but on the weekend, they're playing like movies. They're playing Law and Order SVU shows out the wazoo. So why not kind of, even if it's in the morning, like an 8 o'clock time slot, throw it on. I think it would work well. I think people will be interested.
Saturday morning or Sunday morning.
Yeah.
That's something I can get with. If you're a wrestling fan and you're not enjoying the fact that you get Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Tuesday, NXT and the Cruiserweight Series on Wednesday, and then TNA on Thursday, and then you could probably sprinkling Ring of Honor and...
Isn't Ring of Honor on Friday, the new episode?
Ring of Honor. I don't know, because I don't even have the channel.
It's
so
on
I can't watch
the Fight TV app. I downloaded it. I have yet to really play around with it. It's on my iPad. I'm going to have to play around with it because our favorite wrestler still on there is Dalton Castle. We're big fans of him. So he's only on Ring of Honor.
Party Peacock, man.
Party Peacock. You got Jay Lethal on there. So I suggest you check that out if I were you. If you're definite, you basically have wrestling on every night of the week if you think about it. If you count Ring of Honor, you put it on Friday night. If you don't go out on Friday night and you just want to sit with the girlfriend, maybe drink some vino, have a nice cheese platter, and watch some Ring of Honor. I mean, I don't know.
Now I know what you're doing this Friday. So Melissa will definitely enjoy it.
I don't know if she'll enjoy it, but she'll enjoy the cheese and the wine.
Well, that's how you get her. You get her the cheese, you wine, you get a little chocolate.
Wining and dining.
Wining and dining.
And throw some wrestling in.
Throw some wrestling in. Oh, speaking of NXT, and this goes back to the Byron Saxton, my weekly Byron Saxton rant. And this one's not going to be a terrible rant. So I was listening to Raw, and Corey Graves and Michael Cole are talking, and we talk about how Byron Saxton gets maybe like 1 or 2 words in, and sometimes they interrupt him. Sometimes he gets interrupted while he's trying to make a point. I think he needs to go to NXT to see if he is even capable of being a comparable announcer. Because if he could do it in NXT, if we can see what he has in NXT, a part of a 2-man team, then maybe he could come back. But watching him on Raw is
painful.
It's painful.
Well,
he doesn't even give like a logical explanation on anything. It's just.
Well, also Atunga doesn't speak much. I mean, Atunga, he'll give some points.
Why have a 3-man team then?
Because basically you have JBL running his mouth the whole time. Then, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Ronaldo. Don't you talk bad about him.
I'm not talking bad about him. He does the play-by-play, which is extraordinary. And then you have Atunga kind of give his 2 cents like, oh, powerbomb. Oh, he looks mad. And it's kind of like the Baron Saxton thing. It's kind of annoying because I think Atunga is actually pretty good on the microphone. And it'd be great to see him.
That's why I'm saying, why not? Yeah, we're going to have to see what Saxton has because if not, this 3-man team, I don't even like the 3-man team.
Have you listened to Superstars or Main Event? Because I think he's on one or the other.
I haven't really gotten to watch.
I will have to do that later today.
I still have to keep up on last week's NXT, and
it's just so much wrestling
to watch, so little time, and you're just trying to, I'm on the bus, and I'm trying to catch up with NXT and the Cruiserweight Series, which the first 2 episodes of the Cruiserweight Series were amazing.
I watched the first one. I didn't watch the second one yet.
Just to hear them actually call wrestling holds and moves.
And who's them you speak of, my friend?
Mauro Ranallo and Daniel Bryan. Great stuff. And I'm very thankful that my tweet was posted on the Cruiserweight
I saw that.
Classic episode. So thank you guys for that. A little, I feel like a celebrity now.
You are a celebrity. You're on Ringside Rumble Radio, my friend. Quickly, you spoke of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan seems to have been offended, though, by the John Cena promo from the other night.
Now, do you buy that as a real offense or a work?
See, I feel like it could go either way, because Daniel Bryan is one to speak his mind. So if he doesn't like something, he's going to say it. Because he even said, he's like, oh, well, I've been fired 2 times, and I come from the same mold as AJ Styles comes.
And this is coming off of that AJ Styles promo on SmackDown, right?
Yes.
That I did not get to see yet.
Well, AJ basically said, oh, well, all John Cena fans want a trophy. They're kind of like whiny little babies. And then John Cena starts rambling about loyalty, hustle, loyalty, and respect. and saying if you couldn't make it here, you'd go somewhere else to wrestle, pretty much. And Daniel Bryan didn't take too kindly to that because John Cena said he wouldn't go anywhere else except the WWE. So, and the fact that he kind of has made it, John Cena, and he's over not just as a wrestler, but as a more of like a celebrity, he kind of didn't like the way John Cena gave the promo. And he said that on the Talking Smack show that followed WWE SmackDown on the WWE Network. So I did not catch that show, but I just saw the tweets and the videos online. So I wonder it will be interesting to watch after SmackDown. But like you said, there's only so much you can watch because they have the pre-show before Raw now. Then you have Raw. Then they have the after show on Raw. Then you have the pre-show for SmackDown, and then the aftermath
Smack
Talk on the network. So realistically, you can't sit there all night and just watch it. I know I can't. I mean, I have a life. I usually watch it when I'm streaming at work on the USA Go app, which is actually kind of cool to have because you can watch it live without all these fanboys spoiling it, posting crap online for you, and you're just like, oh, man, I missed this part.
Yeah, it's so much content.
So little time.
So much content, so little time. And we also have only a little time left. So I want you to get into your little segment that you have created for us, my friend.
Oh, so I decided to start another segment because we're trying new waves of making the show better and better for the fans listening out there. So I decided to come up with one saying, Behind the Curtain. And Behind the Curtain consists of wrestlers and what they do besides wrestling. And today, my Behind the Curtain star is SmackDown's own Rhino, whose real name is Terrence Guerin. He won the Michigan Republican primary election last night over Paul Sophia and Richard Johnson, according to ML Live. Now, if you're not familiar with this, Rhino, he's trying to cross over into politics. He's always been big into politics, and he feels after all that's happened in Flint, Michigan with the whole water, and he is really upset about Detroit, how Detroit's getting run down. He's decided, you know what, I want to start making a difference, and he's running for House Senate. So he has a 38% of the votes, and the other opponents only had total 979, 705. He had 1,033. So now he'll go on to face Abdullah Hamad, who won the Democratic nomination, and whoever wins this will become Michigan State Representative of the 15th District. So that is my segment today of Behind the Curtain with Rhino. Behind the Curtain is things that they do outside of wrestling, not inside the ring.
Brought to you by Keith Logan and Ringside
Tune in
Rumble
next
Radio.
week. I will have another segment for you, and it will just keep growing and growing and growing, and you will
What
learn
if he
more.
gores this Democratic candidate?
I don't think that's legal, but hey, you never know with Rhino. I'd be interested to know if he comes out to his theme music.
Oh, yes. That would be something else. And on that note, let's end it right there.
We end it right there.
You've been listening to Ringside Rumble Radio here on Spreaker.com, free on iTunes, and obviously on iHeartRadio. Come on, guys. Let's get with it. Let's start listening to this show. Help us build. Even, give us a little review on iTunes. You can tell us what you think on iTunes. And can you do it on iHeartRadio as well?
I think you can just give the thumbs up. So give us a thumbs up on there. I don't know if you can really send comments. I only use it on the app, so I don't really know. I don't know, maybe online you can do a full review. But also on Facebook and Twitter, get back to us. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like, what you want to see more, or hear more, I should say, on about the show. So what you want to see on our social media. And just tell us. We enjoy hearing feedback from fans and other wrestling fans as well.
And before we get off, speaking of segments, next week we're going to start a new segment called The Dream Match.
Oh,
we're
yes.
going to throw out some dream matches. We actually have our first one that we want to talk about next week.
Can I cut you off for 1 second? Are we going to do dream matches, people living, or is it all...
It could be Let's go with living.
I think we should
let's
stick
stay